Most of you by now know that I work at VIP Mortgage. A lot of you may not know why or how I got there. For us as LOs, we have a lot of options. And for me, VIP Mortgage was the perfect fit and the best place, in my opinion, to work. So if you have any questions about VIP Mortgage as an LO, or if you are a consumer and you're looking for a mortgage, you can reach out to me on social media, or you can reach out to anybody else that you may know at VIP Mortgage. And our website is vipmtginc.com. I'm excited to welcome our next guest, two of my closest friends and two of our biggest referral partners. They have an office in Arcadia off of 40th Street in Campbell. They have a new office down in North Central, 7th Street in Bethany, and an office in the Biltmore Hotel. They are family men, and they are entrepreneurs. So please welcome Oleg Bortman and Tucker Blalock of the Brokery. Welcome, everybody, to The Real Talk with Ryan Madrid. I have Oleg Bortman and Tucker Blalock here with the Brokery out of Arcadia. Yeah, in the Biltmore, sorry. I have my sister over here to the right and my nephew, Trey, working the production and the editing, I guess, Trey, right? So again, welcome you guys. We're at the VIP Mortgage office here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And you guys, we were partners and we've been working together for a while, but I obviously know you guys really well on the personal side. And I think today is going to be it's going to be a really good glimpse into who you guys really are, because I feel like there's some misconception about both of you, actually. So first of all, both have really cool stories, but Oleg's story starts way younger, obviously, because he's a legal immigrant. I called him an immigrant earlier, and he didn't like that. He's a legal immigrant. And this is also the first time that I've had to do two people here, interview two people, so it's a little bit different. So Oleg, let's just start with you real quick here, because your story might last a little bit longer than Tucker's. So give me from birth, basically, besides your mom giving you birth, Steve. That's what you said earlier.
So I'm my story, my wife says, and my kids say I'm a storyteller, so I'll try to give you the abridged version of my style today. But I was born in Ukraine. At that time it was the Soviet Union, 1975. We came over as Jewish immigrants in 1979, one of the last families out. Right around August, we had to go through Italy and Austria. Jewish immigrants at the time had two options. Israel was taking all Jewish people at all the time. My parents really wanted to come to America, follow the American dream for their kids. So we were lucky. We landed in New Jersey right around August of 79. We were sponsored by Jewish Family Services, and that's how I landed in New Jersey. I have a sister who's about 3 years older than me. So started up, in a household where the average, my mom was working for 10 cents an hour. My dad was working for 50 cents an hour in 1979 in the factory. So we just always, as a family, kind of pulled our pots together. My sister was about 3 years older than me. When we came to America, she didn't speak no one spoke English. My mom was 30, my dad was 42, I was 3 and a half, and my sister was just about 6. She got held back one of the grades because we weren't speaking any language of American at all, had no idea what was going on in school. And then we kind of just got entrenched into America, which was amazing. So my parents worked 2 jobs all the time. At the age of 10 or 11, I got my first newspaper route. Everyone has one of those.
Yep, had one.
Right?
Yep.
And it was great. I would deliver newspapers, rain, sleet, and especially Jersey, it's cold and winters are terrible. I remember some of the early days of newspapers deliveries on Fridays. You'd have a little punch card when you would go collect the money. Remember those?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was the worst. You actually go to collect the money. Oh, yeah, that's how old we are.
That's right? Bringing it old school.
Like, I don't even know about that.
Newspapers that people delivered? And then one thing that still sticks to the back of mind since I was 10, so this is almost 35 years ago. It was raining, horrible outside, waiting for a tip. And the lady gave me 15-cent tip. And the newspaper thing, I was collecting like $1.15 or $1.20. It was so frustrating, cold. And I remember I got 3 nickels as a tip. And those moments in your life stick back in your mind clearly.
Have you found her yet?
And she probably hasn't found her newspaper exactly. After that one. But I grew up in a very loving household. My mom was amazing. My father was very old school structured. He played professional soccer in Russia, so I grew up in a very competitive household. Grew up playing soccer. And education was very important. I still remember to this day, like the best year my family ever had growing up, and I was in college already making $35,000 to $40,000 a year. So, you know.
You were in college making 35?
No.
Oh.
No, my parents as a household.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, my mom was always an entrepreneur. I think when I was in middle school, she used to work at the factory sewing jackets when we came to America, and within 10 years, she bought the factory out.
Oh, wow.
So she always had that drive. We always helped out as a family. I would remember going there at nights and help clean the floors, and that's just how I was raised, you know, hard work. And
you went to college, and you played soccer in college too, right?
I did. I went to York College of Pennsylvania. Got accepted. I only applied to 2 schools, got accepted to 2. I want to be close enough to home. York College was a Division III school. I came in on freshman year, but I was also studying bio pre-med. So halfway through the season, I wasn't getting much playing time at that time, and my grades were starting to suffer, as many of us do in freshman year in college, right?
Yep.
So I break out of my little shell. So I kind of left halfway through the season, and then junior year, I decided I want to get back in. My grades caught up, and I trained the summer off, ran, and then got back on the team.
There's a picture floating around of Oleg. I don't know if you've seen this photo.
I have not.
He has dreadlocks.
Oh, that's right. I have
and he had,
See, I told you nobody knows who he is.
and he had a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He went through an identity crisis for a little bit there.
Well, you know, college, I was really quiet and shy growing up. I had an older sister that was very protective and would beat me up, you know. So I was kind of just think about it. Freshman year in high school, I was 4'10". I weighed literally 95 pounds with ears that stuck out like
Samesies.
Same.
Same. All of us.
Late bloomer.
Yeah.
So,
except where we grew.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm still 4'10". You know, it was great growing up. I mean, you know, going through that and through college, I learned a lot, and I broke out of my shell. Clearly, I joined a fraternity, believe it or not, but it was a co-ed fraternity. I was probably smarter than most people. It was an honors fraternity, so we had both guys and girls, so I didn't have to go anywhere. Everybody was ready to party.
And he never drank through college. He picked up wine well after his college days.
Yeah, I didn't drink through high school, through college. No drugs, no drinking at all. I started probably drinking when I met
Hence
Jenny.
the honors fraternity
fraternity.
sorority. Able to maintain those grades.
Yes.
So let's move past that real quick here, because obviously we met in our previous life in pharmaceuticals at Abbott Laboratories, and we were, God, that was how long ago was that? 15 years ago? More than that?
I came back here in 07, so about 13 years ago is when.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after college, I got a job working in a lab, and 2 years later of working in a lab, I realized it wasn't for me. I got a job in pharma, and Abbott was my first company to hire me into sales.
And you were in like the veterinarian
I started on the
before
human
you came
side
over
and
to
then
the
vet and then back to the human side. So I joined Abbott in 99. 99, and I was with them until 2009 when I got transferred back here. My wife was born and raised in Phoenix, so she's a local, a Phoenician, and we resettled back here in December of 07, and in 08, I ended up on your team.
Yep. And then I left and went over to Smith & Nephew.
Yeah.
So that's how, and then obviously when we got into this world, but we'll get into that in a minute, we linked up right away basically when I came here. But so Tucker's story is funny because Tucker is very organized and structured, and he is super focused on his business and his family. Not a big party guy, obviously. But that leads to the question is, what were you like when you were in high school? Because your story is super cool too, because you have the Marine Corps, but you don't just all of a sudden go, oh, I want to be a Marine my whole life, did you?
Negative.
Okay. So talk to me about this.
Yeah.
Dive in a little deeper than people
I'll
maybe.
try. I won't be as verbose as Oleg probably. But, so I'm a local kid, went to Arcadia High School, graduated in 2004. From there, I always grown up in sports, super competitive all my life. Played soccer like both of you guys did, so that's kind of a common bond we all carry.
There's also the picture floating around with him as well, with his 12-pack. You and your brother or brothers. Yeah.
It's old school.
Yeah.
So, always playing sports growing up. At about 7th grade, I broke my leg on a slide tackle. And that was kind of like the turning point in my life, where I went from winning like multiple state championships in a row to now kind of being like on the outs. Like I was always a starter. Now I'm sitting the bench. Now what do I do, right?
Right.
From there, I kind of just, the wheels fell off as I got older and older. Sophomore year of high school, junior year of high school, I'm smoking pot every day, doing drugs like all the other kids. And, you know, just, I was still competitive deep down inside, but I never kind of outgrew that immaturity.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was still on the basketball team. I was always a bench guy. Never got to play like you guys. I was a late bloomer, 5'1", going into high school. Came out at like where I am now. Right. So a lot of growth junior and senior year. Then I go off to U of A and get there. Don't go to class at all. Probably went 3 times the entire time I was enrolled. You know, I knew something had to change. Again, that was like kind of the athlete in me saying, hey, get back on your feet. You got to do something.
Yeah.
And so when you hear Derek Green's story from like Get Your Move On, very, very similar, right? Like the guy was a football player, great athlete, and then got into drugs, kind of turned his life around 10 years ago. Now he's got this huge moving company. Right?
Yeah.
So me, I was like, you know, I got to do something. So I re-enrolled back at ASU, came back home, same thing, just couldn't get back on my feet. So I said, you know, let's try this Marine Corps thing. It's either like death, institutions, the Marine Corps.
Right.
Right? And I'm like, Marine Corps sounds pretty good. So here we are. I literally woke up, like, because I was kind of in a haze back then. Like, I had to detox myself so I could pass the Marine Corps piss test, essentially, and get in.
Yep.
So I do that for 2 months, finally get in, going in, like, April of 2005. So Iraq and Afghanistan, super hot at the time. Me just kind of being the 18, 19-year-old kid I was, I didn't realize what I was actually signing up for, right? Like, I get in, I kind of wake up in boot camp one day. Like, kind of all, like, comes to me at one time. I remember standing at attention at the foot of the bed in boot camp. I'm like, holy, you know, we're here, right? Like, this is wild. I've got to be here for 4 years. So through that process, I mean, it wasn't like all of a sudden I turned my life around in the Marine Corps, because even the first year I partied a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, my best friend that I made in the Marine Corps ended up passing away from drugs. So it's, I turned myself around before that, luckily. So 1 year, and I kind of catch my stride in the Marine Corps. I'm like, hey, look, you know, we're working out every day. I'm working out twice a day. I've got to eat right. I've got to sleep right, because I was still tired all the time. So get my life turned around mostly by eating right, doing massage therapy, and kind of just being a hermit. I would go to we had a barracks room, right? It's probably the size of this room that we're in, 200 square feet. So I'd come home every night and like wasn't social at all. Didn't talk to anybody out in the barracks. Would just go to work, come home and sleep. Go to the gym, come home and sleep. Did that for like 3 years straight. And so when I came out, like my social skills were really off. Like I would get super anxious as I do now. Like even when I'm talking to you guys right now, I'm a little like, I'm pouring into you more than I normally would. So it's like, it's a little scary for me, right? But now I'm doing this video stuff that we talked about, gaining confidence through that. Right. And also through the sales cycle we've had over the past 8-9 years, right? But before that, I'm like a very introverted person. I think that's what you're trying to open up on me a little bit and see like the deeper side.
Yeah. But I know it.
Yeah, right? and I've given it to you before. Yeah,
and obviously Oleg knows it, and I want to get a little even deeper into that after. Like, let's go into when you two kind of, because how you two met is also kind of a cool story too, right? Yep. And then we'll kind of flow into this. But yeah, go ahead.
Yep. So I get out in 2009 on the Marine Corps, and I'm still with the same girl. I actually met her in the Marine Corps, Ashley. 2 kids now. Oleg also has 2 kids of his own, so we're very similar in that, and then it's a family-run business, right? So I get out in 2009, kind of get searching for what I'm going to do next. I went back to ASU's, the GI Bill, finished school, while at the same time I got my real estate license and met Oleg. And he's doing food sales at the time. He had gotten out of Abbott.
Selling olives.
And now he's selling olives at AJ's. I'm like, dude, how lucrative is that? You know, like, but
pretty
apparently it was but it's weird. This is where it got to. I'll get back to how we
do anything, kids.
Yeah. I'll get back to how we met. But it came to a point where we had so many signs on the Biltmore golf course that his guys that were selling olives with him would come into town and see his sign on the Biltmore golf course. Like, dude, I thought you were in our team.
Right.
And I didn't know you were in real estate.
Yeah. You were like getting in trouble a little bit, right?
Yeah. That's how fast it grew. Like when we popped. But so going back to 2009, I come back home, get into the real estate school just to find my own house. And it was really just, we were a product of timing and hard work, really. Yeah. 2009, bottom of the market, I come back, like the Blockbuster video I used to go to is gone. The market's decrepit from when I left in 2005. I mean, the real estate school that I was going to enroll in is now no longer. So they moved me to the business school. ASU literally canceled their real estate program. Wow. That's how you know it's the bottom. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So we finished school, and I meet Oleg in 2012. So I was buying my first house and refreshing the screen every 2 seconds to see what pops on the MLS. And he lists one right in my wheelhouse, right? And I hit him up like 2 seconds after it hits the market. I let him tell that story a little bit.
Yeah, so obviously I didn't have a network here in real estate. My wife was born here in her family, but I didn't know anybody. So one of my mother-in-law's closest friends had a place right in the heart of Arcadia. Neighbor wanted to buy it off market, and I said, I can get you more money for it. So we listed it for $440 at this time. Think about living in the heart of Arcadia, even on a teardown, for $440,000. It's just crazy prices.
And
so
that was in 2012?
I think
Yeah,
it was
2012.
11, 12, something like that. And so literally within 15 minutes, my phone rings. Hey, I saw you just listed a house. I want to see it in 15 minutes. I'm like, who is this? like, who's actually tracking the MLS that like a hawk, right?
Right.
So he's like, oh, I saw it just come live. I want to see this house. So I call, long story short, we schedule a showing. He comes in and he's like, all right, I like the house. I was like, okay, so he ends up running it like a low ball offer. It's listed day one, 15 minutes on the market, $350.
And this is like Arcadia proper. Like,
Yeah, right.
Where is this at exactly?
46 in Lafayette. So it's like Cayetano and 45th Street.
Okay.
So just south of. So
Oh,
great.
yeah, the house. Okay, that was the house you lived in up
Yeah.
until like 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Jeez.
crazy. So long story short, we're going back and forth negotiating, and he's a Marine, and just so you guys know, obviously I wasn't born here. Very patriotic. I love our men and women who serve our country. It's one of the things closest to my heart.
I'm sorry I have to do this, but he's more patriotic than anybody I know, probably.
Yeah.
And I've heard I lived the true American dream out of his mouth. I've heard it so many times because I don't think that because he came from Ukraine and like the legal immigrants, right, that are here. Actually, it's like they look at us as like, you spoiled brats. Like are you serious with complaining about this? Like, you know what? Like you said, 10 cents, 5 cents.
Yeah.
Like you're literally like, dude, this is the greatest country on earth. You say that all the
time.
All the time.
All the time, which is amazing. But anyways, go ahead.
Thank you. So Tucker's like, he just got out of the Marines, and I'm like, dude, I know you want to get this house. I'll lower my commission, but you're not even close. And, most people in real estate, they're salespeople trying to get more money, but I was trying to be as honest as I can for him. He was native. He wanted to get back in Arcadia.
In the meantime, he's holding open houses the first couple weekends he's there. And I'm coming to every single open house. And
Sitting
I'm
on the
sitting
couch.
on the couch.
Ruining my open houses.
Scaring everybody.
So I'm getting to know Jenny. I'm getting to know the owner of his company, Cindy Stockwell, through that and a bunch of other stuff. But I'm getting the intel on the house not selling, right? And finally, Oleg broke, right?
You won.
I ended up buying the house. But
He did. And it was really rewarding for me. Again, somebody who served for our country, born and raised in Arcadia, got the house. So it was an amazing journey just to sell that house.
So from there, though, we're super lost. Like the next day, like literally the day after we sold the house, he's like, dude, I'm working in the Biltmore. This is like my dream, and we should start a team. I'm like, we don't even know what a real estate team is. Oh, that's our only sale. That one deal we just did. That's our only sale. So he's like, do you think we should get business cards? Like if we hurt ourselves now, it would be bad.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we went through the trials and tribulations that every partnership goes through, being brand new to the business, right? But again, we were a product of perfect timing, right?
Hard work.
A lot of people got out of the business. We're like ramping up in 2012, 2013 when a lot of people are getting out, frustrated. And we're putting 50% of everything that we made directly back in the business. Probably still to this day pretty close.
Yeah.
Do you think that?
And we were the reason we were able to, because we still had 2 full-time jobs. So I was still
Right.
hustling olives. And Tucker was a commodities trader, so he's trading from 6 a.m., getting up at 4:30 in the morning. till
32nd
2
Street in Camelback?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
44th.
44th, okay.
Which is
Oh,
no longer
yeah.
busy. So
That's right.
so we're working 2 full-time jobs and starting to grow a business
So
together.
we did that until about 2015, I believe.
Yeah.
When we're getting too busy. We're like, hey, we just can't keep up this lifestyle of waking up at
Right.
5, going to bed at 11 at night, doing the same thing over and over and over and over.
And you were getting in trouble by the olive company.
Yes.
Yep.
Your bosses thinking you were trying to double dip and
Yeah,
tour.
which I was, for sure.
Which was making a great
But
living.
But I was still making them a lot of money. They weren't complaining.
AJ was still buying.
But we'd have clients calling us during business hours and we couldn't show them houses. It was
Right.
just becoming cumbersome.
Yeah.
So, that's when we had to go full time. And he went 6 months before I did, and I followed him shortly thereafter.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, the way you were in the military and going to work, coming home, you were super structured. Obviously, the military structured as it sounds like you like took it to a whole nother level. Anyways, like you were focused on your diet, which is that's not normal in the military, right? You're focused on your diet. You're working out, similar to what you do now. Fun fact. Friday, when I saw him, I was eating Taco Bell in my car, and he goes, gross. He goes, I just ate a chicken breast in the Tupperware in my car, like because we were going to play golf, and I had a brand new shirt I had not worn yet. Taco Bell sauce on my shirt.
I love Taco Bell though. I love it.
But he was right. It made me. I was like, it's so frustrating. But yeah. Anyways, so going back, so the structure, right? So you come out. First of all, to be a commodities trader, you have to be incredibly disciplined to be a trader of any sort, right? Because you have to.
I'm trying to start a family. I'm not trying to gamble my life away every day, right?
Right.
When I was growing up, my dad was probably went broke 5 times growing up, right?
Yeah.
That's what he did for his career.
Right.
But from early on, I just had a really big chip on my shoulder. I was coming back. I feel like I spotted all my peers 4 years, right? Like I just went away for 4 years.
Yep.
These guys have been in college. They're getting into the workforce. I'm halfway through college. I don't have a career yet. Like I spotted these guys a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know, and while I did gain the discipline, I feel like it was that rubber band effect. Like I went back a little ways, but dude, I slingshotted so much farther because of it.
Yeah.
And that was crucial. But yeah, keeping up the discipline, I still train all the time. Like I'm still in the military. I still run as much as possible and
still playing basketball.
Trying to get Oleg in the gym as much as possible.
I could use a good workout partner, by the way. Anybody out there? Give me a call. I'm ready.
He's got a young wife. So
that helps a lot.
Yeah. But and then your situation, obviously you were working multiple jobs. So when you guys decided to team up, I mean, I pretty much was there from that point. When did the suits thing come about?
2013.
2013, we rebranded.
Right.
Yes.
You're like, we're going to start the suits. And at this point, your broker was in the Biltmore Hotel.
Yep.
Correct.
And when we started the suits, we were doing $3 million per year combined in total sales.
First year.
First or second year.
Yeah. Well, I don't believe
not
that
much.
actually.
No.
I feel like it was more than that.
No.
The very first year. Until it took about, after a full 12 months of marketing, we went from literally like 3 million to the very first year of marketing went to 12 million. Yeah, we grew 400% after the first full year of marketing, putting 50% back into the business.
Yeah.
That number one year was 2014, and that's the year we started like number one in the Biltmore, which we still carry to today. I think we have we're coming up on 8 years number one in the Biltmore in a row. But 2014 was the year we broke in.
Do you think that the hotel having that office has really helped at all? Do you really think
that's a debate we always have.
From the beginning, yes, but now I think we've outgrown it.
Because it's really just like a one chair.
Yeah.
It's not. Is it really an office?
But what we leveraged it for.
It is an office in the lobby of the Biltmore Hotel.
So okay,
it's branding.
It's branding.
Is what it is.
We're brand new agents. Every piece of business that we had to get was new business. We didn't have referrals. Honestly, Oleg wasn't from here. He doesn't know a lot of people. He has Jenny that might know some people.
Yeah.
I'm coming back. My friends are 25. They don't have anybody, right?
Right.
So we literally went out and marketed the Biltmore, and from there we went out and won listing appointment after listing appointment over and over again to make it happen.
Yeah.
But we were competing with Phil Tibby, Camille Sullivan, Keith Mishkin, people that were super established in that neighborhood for a decade or 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
But we're fresh, coming in, motivated, aggressive. I think a lot of the people, it resonated well with the I think the more mature residents, the suits did.
Well, yeah, because you guys were like 60-year-old men that were like 30.
Yes.
Right? And that's really what, like, you resonated more with. I mean, like, I remember going to, like, the client appreciation parties and stuff.
Yeah.
And these, like, older women coming up and kissing Oleg on the lips.
Yes.
Right? Oh, and he's just like, hi, Jackie. And, oh, hi, Oleg. You know, it's just like such a weird thing. And it's just like, oh, my God.
So coming up with Oleg in this business, it's always made me feel awkward when he's the first one in the door and he starts kissing people.
I know.
And I'm like, what do I do? Like,
you don't do it.
I don't do it.
You don't kiss them.
No.
I don't do that either.
No, he doesn't want to kiss after I
But
just
it's weird that because it's like not even him sometimes. It's like they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if like it's because he did it first time but yeah, I know. Because I feel the same way. Sometimes when I'm with him, like I'll kiss his wife because she does it to me.
Yeah, of
But
course,
that's
because
it.
everybody wants to kiss Ryan.
But I don't kiss your wife. I hug her
Right.
and say hi, right? So anyways, moving forward. So yeah, so you guys are in the Biltmore and you're all of a sudden just gaining massive steam and people are like all of a sudden starting to notice you guys, but nobody knows you guys, right?
Right.
So at this point, this is when I'm kind of starting to gain some steam too in this business, and Oleg and I we all three kind of just teamed up from the beginning, which has been, a fabulous relationship.
And it was actually the beginning for VIP, not just for you. Like VIP, Jay actually came to our very first meeting, which is probably unheard of now, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Remember?
Oh, he still would now.
Would he?
but it's just because our relationship,
Yeah,
right? I mean, he also operates a little bit different than other owners and stuff. If he feels like it's something he should be doing, but yeah, I mean VIP started in 2008, but when I got here, it kind of really took off, I think, and it was timing for a lot of this stuff too.
Yep.
But I was the guy that was out and about doing all the networking, because my job's just a little bit different, right? So like I was trying to network with realtors, and what I realized, a lot of the realtors were networking with other realtors, right? But in your mindset, and I think your mindset, that really doesn't. All that really helps is really through the cross sale.
Yes.
Sometimes it's easier to if you're on one side and Oleg's on or Tucker's on the other, it's gonna go smoother. Right.
Sure.
So, but through that process, I would hear shit. Sorry, now I'm a guy cussing. I would hear stuff. They're like, oh yeah, Oleg and Tucker, who are these guys? And it's funny because like a lot of the guys that would be saying that stuff you're friends with now, right?
Right.
But they didn't know who you guys were, and they're like these, and I'd have to be like they're the great.
We wore suits, and I
Right.
think that turned a lot of people off.
And we were young.
Yeah.
So they thought we were cocky.
Yeah.
All about us.
Right.
But we go kind of like when I grew up, like I would go to work, and then I come home, either have a soccer, go to the gym, or work, spend time with the family.
But,
Right.
but also Arizona's a more laid back. Like when Oleg met me, I'm wearing sandals and shorts, right? So like we've got to present. We're presenting to a mature audience.
Yeah.
The Biltmore crowd is 50 plus from the majority,
Yeah.
right? So we're playing to that crowd more or less with our marketing and branding.
For sure. And you're starting to murder it, and
Yep.
then you're becoming the number one guys in the Biltmore. And then one day Tucker and I are talking, and he's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to start doing Arcadia, which was smart because you grew up there.
Yep.
At this point, you've already established yourself as someone who's, it's not the high school Tucker, it's like the super put together,
Right.
wise beyond his years Tucker now, right? And you still have all the network of all the people, and you still have a bunch of successful buddies now. At this point, they're starting to become successful in their own rights. So you start doing now advertising and marketing in Arcadia. Who did you guys use, by the way? Are you still using the same company?
MMPR was.
No, we've gone through a couple iterations.
Okay.
So first we had a single freelance guy named Nathan.
Okay.
He worked at the Suits brand with us for a while.
Yep.
And then we wanted to rebrand, and actually we changed the brokerage name at some point because we bought our broker out.
Yep.
So we ran around as Biltmore Lifestyles Real Estate, which is it was kind of pigeonholed us into the Biltmore. So
Yep.
we opened that new Arcadia office. We said, hey, we've got to get away from that branding. Let's change to the Brokery, right? Before that, we actually changed to Bespoke, but that's another story.
But that's a whole nother story.
That's another story. We got to the Brokery finally.
Right.
And it was almost like we did that internally, and then we would outsource kind of. We actually ran a couple of competitions online for logos and things.
Yeah.
That was all
Which
our
turned
own.
out really, really clean. I mean, you guys have some of the
Thank you.
best
Thanks.
branding in town.
But MMPR, who's down the street, who does a lot of Postino stuff, they helped us get off the ground quite a bit. Grant Crone over there, great guy. But
They
other
did a
than
good
that,
job.
we ran with a lot of it just ourselves.
So the stuff you guys are doing now, I know I'm moving ahead a little bit, but I think
And
we're
real
going to talk
quick,
about. Okay, go ahead.
Real quick, so one thing I want to say, what's so unique is usually, and Ryan, you can contest it, you can agree to this too or disagree, but in sales, like we were both in pharma. Sales doesn't agree with marketing, marketing doesn't agree with sales. Why? Because sales guys always run around, they got to get the deal done, and marketing wants all these budgets to promote a brand.
Yeah.
And marketing says, oh, the reason the sales guys are blowing it up because we advertise it on TV and there's nothing to do. So so I came from pharma sales. I was really heavy on the sales and sales management and sales training. I didn't really believe much into marketing. What's so unique about our partnership is Tucker is brilliant at marketing and I love sales.
Yeah.
So we kind of always stayed in our own lane.
Mm-hmm.
So, most agents are their own marketing person, their own advertising person, own sales. To have that kind of relationship is really extraordinary.
Yeah.
Because in real estate, first of all, to go get the listing, you have to be really good at sales and connect with people. But you got to get your phone to ring, so how do you do it?
What I think what's remarkable about you is, did you know that you're going to be this good at marketing? Because you are really good at it, right? You have a really good eye, but people have good eyes, but they don't always implement things.
Yep.
You're able to actually implement your ideas.
Yep.
I'm terrible at that, right?
So I think that's why having two personalities, it's kind of like you to Stuart, right?
Yeah.
Stuart's the technician,
Yep.
you're the social guy, right?
Yep.
Like you
Yep.
yin yang really well.
Yep.
He and I are very similar, right? Like Oleg can ham it up with anybody. He'll kiss you on the cheek. He'll do it, you know, all that kind of stuff. Exactly. But when it comes to like and he has great ideas, but coming to the implementation and getting the right people in the right places or the right design in the right place at the right time, that's what I'm better at. But that's what's made our business so unique at the same time.
So even like your month or quarterly reports you guys do?
We do those in-house. I still do.
You do those?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so do you have like a template that you use for this?
We have a template now, but
because this, have you seen? Okay, they're very clean. They look like they're professional. That's why I thought you were still using the place down the street.
So we are so design focused. We actually brought a graphic designer in house full time.
Right.
And like to whip content out as fast as possible, hyper local content that's super relevant. We can pivot. So during COVID, we could pivot really quick. We're not this big battleship who can't move.
Yep.
We're very nimble still in our small ways.
When having conversations with my real estate partners, one of the things I always ask them is, how organized are you? Do you have a CRM system? Or do you have a drip campaign? Are you staying in contact with your referral partners, your clients, etc.? And a lot of agents do not, or they've gone through multiple CRM systems. I found a really good CRM system that I recommend. It's called Escrow, the letter S, grow. And immediately you're going to see an impact in your business just because of the automatic campaigns that are already pre-written for you. It's a great system, great system, easy to use, because I think that's one of the problems that people have. Things are already set up, templates are already created. All you have to do is put your contacts in and let it ride. So if you don't have a system, you're looking for a system, visit esgrowcrm.com for more information. So let's talk about 40th Street, right? So you guys started the Brokery. You changed the name basically, and then you still have your place in the Biltmore Hotel.
Yep.
And then you had the foresight to buy a lot on basically Heatherbray, or is it
it's Hazelwood.
Hazelwood. Okay, so Hazelwood and 40th, it was just a lot, right? So it was right just north of LGO and Postino's.
So it was like 13.
We bought it in 2013.
Yeah,
before we were even in real estate, really.
Yeah, like what made you? I mean, what made you decide to do that? Was your dad?
No, so I went to my family and I said I wanted this is it. This is where we want to open up the real estate office. Like that was my vision, right? Like I felt like at the time, I think we were kind of getting to the place where we were like going full time. We were getting more serious about it, and we were going to be tapped out of the Biltmore. It's only a $100 million market, which is a good size market, but you're only going to grab 20% market share. So we're going to be tapped out at 20 million every year if we stay here. We need to grow, right? And I felt that early on. Like I was never all in on the Biltmore.
Yeah.
It was a great way to get our feet wet and get into the game because there was some opportunity there. But I felt like Arcadia was the real deal.
Yeah.
And that obviously worked out in our favor. We bought it in 2013, but we didn't build it till we didn't move in until 2017.
Yeah.
So we held it for 4 years until we got it done.
Yeah. If you haven't been there, I'm looking at this camera. This camera. It's super nice. I mean, it's very modern and cool, and like the whole open, kind of like this is out here, open floor plan. It's designed really, really nice, but the location's incredible. So you're right in the heart of the neighborhood, basically, considering you're right by, you're light technically, but you're right there, but right by the restaurants, people walking by.
We're right between North and La Grande Orange.
Yeah.
And the way that worked out is we did originally get the initial lot. My family did plop down for that. My grandma at the time, who's now gone, but she paid $350 for the lot, which is like looking back today is nothing. For the dirt. Yeah. But Oleg and I, we weren't just going to build it, right? Like my family would have done something else with it. But we worked from 2013 to 2017 to build our track record to get the commission amount that we needed to go apply for an SBA loan. Yeah. So I did an SBA loan on that deal. It wasn't like we could go get traditional financing because we weren't crushing it like that yet. Yeah. So good program, SBA, if you guys need something.
Yeah. Who's your guy?
Tanner Detro, MidFirst Bank.
There you go, MidFirst Bank. So you start adding people to your team. So did you ever decide that you're going to add people to your team, or you wanted people just to the brokers? Because I don't remember if there's anybody else. It's always been just you two, right?
No, the suits we had actually. Matt was in early. Mariana was with us.
Oh, that's right. She was suits too.
Yeah. And then Laura. So we did a cross sale with Laura, and she joined. She was part of the suits. So we actually had the suits until November of last year. Mm-hmm. So the suits were still alive for.
I know that they were alive, but but Laura was really she was an agent under the Brokery.
No, she was still with the suits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was heavy on the suits.
The problem we had, going back to kind of like branding marketing thing, was that early on in this Brokery thing, we had multiple teams across the platform. We had 3 teams, the suits, and then we had 2 other teams. What we found early on is that they weren't brand cohesive. and they were going off script as far as advertising 1% commissions and doing these things that we didn't see fit.
Yeah.
And so at the beginning of this year, we actually chopped off our own brand. So we burned the boat, as John Bowman would like to say.
Right.
We burned our boat. We spent millions of dollars on the Suits brand, and literally overnight we just tore it up and threw it away. And said we're going all in on the Brokery. And that was really for us, like, I think that was a game changer.
We've had several. I mean, you think about it, right? We do a cross sale on a house. We then agree to partner up. We didn't even know what the partnership was going to look like. And actually, for the first 5 years of the partnership, until we bought out our broker, it was always on a handshake. We never had any contracts in place. We just knew that everything comes in, we split it 50, you pay, I pay. So, and then when we realized we were doing 90% of the brokerage for Cindy at Biltmore Lifestyles Real Estate, we decided to buy her out.
Yeah.
Tucker buying that piece of land was another monumental move for us, because it was hard for us to grow a team when we had an office at 10 by 10 with one desk.
Yeah.
Nobody knew where to go, where were we going to meet, where are you going to talk. So, hey, join the team, but we have no space for you.
And we both were brand new to the business. So we never had mentors in the business. And even our own broker we recreated the wheel, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
We literally started from scratch. Everything we've ever done, we've had to spend to find out how it worked, right?
Yeah.
We were never handed the keys and said, hey, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Like, we literally went out and fought for everything that we had, and that we still continue to spend. And maybe Zillow didn't work here, but the magazine worked really well, so let's keep doing that.
Yeah.
And that's just how our progression's been, I think, over the years.
Do you feel like you have a mentor, even like outside of your brokerage now, that you can call, like somebody in the industry that you can give a call that's like working somewhere else, that you like feel like, okay, I can trust this guy or girl?
I mean, very few. We'll bounce some questions off of people, but it's what we do is different than a lot of people. Like, I don't want to call anybody at Keller Williams because their ideologies are way different than ours, right?
Yeah.
We hate cold calling. It's just, I mean, we're super hyper local. Just a lot of people don't have what we're going for.
And I think our biggest mentors, honestly, is our spouses. Like, we'll literally go out to dinner at least once a quarter and update them. Hey, this is what's going on. My wife owns a commercial insurance business. Ashley's also very brilliant. She's huge in support. We'll go out and like, hey, we're at this threshold. What are we supposed to do? Also, another person that's been very instrumental in our lives in the last 2 years was John Bohm, talking about a great coach. So you introduced us to him. He's literally helped us relook at our business, not on the transaction portion, but how do we really grow and how do we reach our true potential? Yeah. It's not just one transaction or 10 transactions. I mean, talk about transactions. We did 45 closes last month. In October.
Right.
So
John Bohm's with Driven Coaching, by the way, and I think is it Driven Marketing? It was Driven Marketing.
Yeah.
Like,
And
he changed the name recently, but
we're using Kelly Bowman Driven Marketing.
You are as well. Okay.
But it's just having I think the best is not that we have a mentor in real estate per se. We have partners like you to see what's going on. We have an amazing coach, but our spouses that are also very entrepreneur in spirit. Yeah. Ashley's dad is an accountant. He had his own business the whole time, so she grew up in that household. So having that kind of support has been absolutely amazing for us.
Yeah, that's
so we went from doing $3 million in 2012. Our company did $190 million in sales in 2019, and this year we're about on that pace as well. So, and then we did all that,
right?
Yeah,
recreating the wheel over and over. But we're getting to a place now we've got everything dialed, right? And our systems are getting better, our processes are getting better. We're not very system-oriented guys. We just like to go out and make it rain.
Yeah.
But now we've got to change our mindset a little bit. Now we're running a company. It's different.
Yeah, you have a P&L and you have to
Yes.
you have bills you got to pay.
We have 5 full-time employees with health benefits and the whole thing now. So
right, it makes it a little bit different.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's funny too because you built your business on relationships, right?
Absolutely.
And you're like, I'm not that social guy, but I mean, I think you are really. I mean, when in the right way, the way that works to build your business. Because when I think that you trust you, right? That's what it is with you, right? So you start working with Tucker, you work with, this is my opinion, but people just end up liking you guys, and they're going to continue to use you based upon the relationship that you've built, because you're very, very, very normal people. Funny story though, so we're in the car one day, this kind of goes to his personality, right? And him and I are in his when you had the black Audi, and I forget where we were going, but you had a 1-year listing, so an agent was calling about 1-year listings, and we're just driving, and you just like answered the phone. We're like in the middle of a conversation, like talking, and he just like, boop, it's Tucker. and the guy goes, hey Tucker, I'm just calling to see it, and you were just like very like so matter of fact, like call me if you want to come look at it. All right, thanks, John. Bye. Anyway, and I was like, dude, this works for you? Like that was like it was such a, it's just so just boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom. But you've evolved a lot. I think, and it's funny, even the conversations I've had with other agents that, you know, Tucker's very well liked, obviously, by other people, and so are you. But like, I think that because he's from that, he's younger, he's in that network a little bit more than you are. And he's from Arcadia. A lot, especially like the higher profile people, love Tucker, you know,
which is great.
And I think they love him because he's so focused and so not the happy hour guy, every broker open guy. He's like I said, he's 50. You're 60. He's 10 years younger than us, if not more.
He is 10 years younger than me.
Yes, there you go. So that means.
But for every one of those, again, like the reason we want all these listing appointments early on is because when we go into these listing appointments, there's always two of us.
Yeah.
And we found that there's always power in numbers. So if we go into a listing appointment, it's you, Ryan. You know, you're going to sell your house. You know, and everybody's going to resonate with somebody different. I might show up and they hate me because I'm too young, maybe. Or I look too arrogant. And they like Oleg because he resonates more, and maybe they're Jewish or whatever the cross pollination is, right?
Whatever works.
But we find out early on the first step to the door which one of us is going to take over, right? And from there we game it, right? That's always been how we've crisscrossed.
Yeah, and I remember hearing that you guys have been rolling that way for a while. I remember this is the same story. So you can tell pretty quickly this is a Tucker client. This is an Oleg. This is an Oleg.
Yeah, when I come in and the wife doesn't want to give me a kiss, I know it's a Tucker client.
Right. So all right. So you guys now are at the Brokery on 40th Street. So you're getting agents coming in, and then you decide to expand even further. Right, so then you open up the newest office. Yep. Well, hold on, let's see back and forth because you bought another place, the car wash, right, on 56th and Thomas.
We actually had one on deck right in front of the Arizona Country Club that was going to be our next location. And then during the pandemic, Oleg happened to be taking his son to one of his friends' houses in Central Phoenix. Yeah, drove around this little building that had a sign out front and called me. And 2 minutes later, we had an offer out. So
that's how they
just right place, right time. We make decisions quick. We're responsive.
And that's 7th Street in Bethany Home.
But again,
it's like a house.
It is mid-century modern home. It used to be an old insurance agency.
Yeah, but being nimble in the business, I think, has always been our strength. And keeping a boutique style, we never want to be the biggest guy. We just want to be the best guy. Yeah. And so keeping that nimble, quick approach. I mean, Oleg called me, and again, like 2 minutes later, we had that offer out, and we bought the building. Yeah. And now Sam Levy, young hitter over in Central Phoenix, is heading up that office. Sam's
going to be a baller. Yeah. He already
is a baller.
What is he, 26?
No, a little bit older, 28 maybe.
28, yeah.
It's amazing. He literally joined us 2 years ago. His best year was $4.5 million. His first year with us was 13.5, and this year he's going to top $20 million. So in 2 years, we quadrupled his business.
In his 20s.
It's unbelievable.
And Braden's a stud, too, obviously.
Yeah. Debbie Ponte.
Debbie's amazing.
She's over 20.
Incredible.
4 years
Mariana's doing great.
Yeah.
So you guys have focused on that, but I think the goal was with the North Central spot was having having Sam kind of go over there and work there more because that's kind of
that's when he's born and raised.
Yeah, that's his network, which is awesome, and you guys gave him the opportunity to kind of buy into the building too, which was cool too. I think that's a great system, right? So in order to give you the opportunity to the people that work for you or with you to come into the business. And you're giving him, a young guy, the opportunity to buy real estate, right? Yeah. And have money so technically he is part of the building, part of the business, right? He's going to basically be running out of that spot. So, and he can decide how he wants to do it as far as like bringing people on over there. But recruiting is not easy. At the end of the day, dude, like
of all people,
it's hard. And bringing in it's bringing in the right people, right? There's 40,000 agents in town, right? You might. So there's two ways, right? You can have the $100 million producer that's just nobody you want to be anywhere near, like a terrible person, right? And then you got the $3 million person that might be an incredible person, but they're just not figuring it out yet. And you kind of have to decide who you want. And then you have the other people that say they do a ton, but they don't, right? And then it's just like they're taking bandwidth out of your life and out of your resources. So, there's 40,000 people, but there's really 100, right?
So for every, I'd say 8 to 10 that we interview, we hire one. Yeah. And what's unique about our system too, again, we're very boutique. So if we like somebody, Oleg and I will interview them first. If we like them, we bring them back, and the team interviews them. Yeah. And the team has to say yes. Okay. Right. So it's not like Tucker and Oleg run the show. It's like, hey, this is a family business. Yeah. It's a cultural fit more than anything. I don't care if you do 100 million. if you're not the right culture fit, you're not coming into our building.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the way. It's the same here.
And we've had literally huge hitters come in and just
not our thing.
after the meeting, Tucker and I were just like, this is not the place for them. They can be successful, and they will be successful. It's just not our environment. Because for us, the number one thing, we do surveys almost twice a year. The most important thing for us is culture fit.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't lost an agent in 2 years unless we told them to leave. So our attrition, I mean, we have zero attrition at the moment. So our retention has been phenomenal, and I think that is because of the culture, the services we provide to the agents, and everything else on top of it. We can get into that later, but
no, I think it's a good segue right now, because you guys do from an opportunity standpoint, like you said, it's just you're not asking anybody to cold call. Like, you guys don't want to cold call. No. That's not your deal. You're not going to pound the phones. It's all building relationships and networking and but open house is very old school, right? So open houses still work. Yes. Still the best way to get business.
Yes.
You have a listing. Anybody's allowed to go work it. If they get that client out of there, it's theirs. It's their client.
Yep.
And I know you guys give them, like, you guys bring people in on deals too.
All the time.
Right? So there's opportunities, like maybe you don't want to work that area, or you think this is a good opportunity for this person, you're going to give them the opportunity to make money. I know personally people that they weren't doing that much business have made a lot of money and did a lot more business based upon the things that you guys you're not greedy people at all, right? Yep. So you give them opportunities to do so, right? But maintaining, like you said, maintaining a business, it's not super easy. So I know you do some coaching, right?
A lot of coaching. I love coaching. One of the things I do love, probably even more than transaction, is the coaching. Is seeing other people succeed. Again, I truly live the American dream. So my father was my mentor in sports. He taught me discipline, character, structure. Always, whatever you say you're going to do, your word is the most valuable thing you have. Yeah. So, and I love people that, I remember growing up as a little kid, being successful was a celebration. I don't know when that happened or changed.
Yeah.
But deep downside, it's never changed for me. So celebrating wins is fabulous for me. Seeing a Sam going from $4.5 million to $20 million a year
Debbie's the same.
Is the same thing. Debbie came over from Berkshire Hathaway doing $4 million. This year she might do $25 million. Those are the kind of successes that I like to get up on a Monday morning or a Sunday and go into the office to sharpen up our skills. That's why we have John Bone, an amazing business coach. He sharpens up our skills so I can share that knowledge with the agents. Because anything that any human being ever wants in America, and actually in life and in the world, is to have their kids succeed for them. So any way we can share the successes within our offices and employees, just think about it. We have a small business. Tucker and I have an incredible small business. All our employees have full health care and a 401k. Show me another small real estate company that's not Coldwell Banker or corporate that offers a 401k, and because we want people to stay with us and grow with us, and that's why we also give the opportunity for them to grow and buy into buildings, and believe in our brand as a huge growth as a family.
Yep. Our biggest challenge right now is going back to the office thing, is finding good talent, good people with the right cultural fit that can run an office for us. So we're down to open up more offices immediately. We need to have the right people to staff those offices. So if there's people out there that they work, that are in a country club area, they might be members of the club, or there might be somebody downtown in the Willow District. There's a building down there we're looking at. We're looking for good team leaders who can fit a building and go execute in that building. And we'll give them the playbook to do it. They just have to be on the Brokery board.
Yeah. So have you guys thought about, like, hiring a recruiter, or is that just way out of the wheelhouse?
It's not.
We don't want to go be mad. Like, we could do that and grow to 100 people. That's not us. We just want to have.
I know, but it's I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to. It's like, because we talk about this quite a bit. It's super hard. Like, people even ask me, it's like, I brought some good people here, and it's been lucky. And
not lucky, it's hard work.
But it's relationship building and lucky. But, there's not, like, a huge amount of people that you can just grab. And a lot of people are happy where they're at, too, right? So it's they have to have a pain point of some sort, right? You can pull somebody over somebody who's competing with you in that area, but they may be running their own business within a business that they're very successful, and they run their own company, right? And so you're kind of looking for people like that, but also people that are underneath them, maybe in it. So they're not maybe maybe there's not enough time for them
Yep.
to be coached or trained, and they're kind of on that cusp, and they're a good person, they're cool, and they would fit, but but how do they meet you guys, right? So they got to come by.
Well, and sometimes in our space too, so we're not team oriented, again, going back to that. Oleg and I burned our team to get to where we are. So we don't have any teams at the company. So what's, I guess, challenging in our opinion too, is that these people sometimes have egos, right? And they need to have the Blalock team, the Bortman team. We don't need that at our company, right?
Yeah.
We just want to make you successful. It's not about you. It's about growing people alongside you, right?
Yeah.
And we operate as one big team, and it's the Brokery, right? And we have the systems and processes behind that to power your business. And so again, it's not about the ego thing. It's about just bringing in the right people who want to succeed and execute. We'll give you the playbook. We'll open up an office for you. You can even buy into that office if you want, like Sam and Debbie and Mike Hogan did, and then take that office further.
Right. But where do they find you? Like, how do you guys even
Through
get a hold of
I mean,
them?
you're the social. You're the social.
Google,
Okay,
Google us. Google us.
Besides me,
I mean,
but I
we're
know
out-
that's the truth, though, right? So when you're in cross sales, I guess
Cross-sales is
obviously,
huge.
Yeah.
like building that relationship with the person. Obviously, the focus is you have to do the best by the client, right?
Yes.
So you can be a tough guy on your side. So can you, but he's different.
I have no problem
I'm,
calling people out.
passive aggressive.
Yeah. You're passive. So you're having that, you build that relationship on the other side, but right, so if they love how the transaction went and the communication was so great and the way you spoke to that person, everything was just awesome, right? That's where you may get that conversation, be like, hey, so how do you like it where you're at, right? So let's go meet for coffee, meet for lunch, which we all always do.
Yes.
So we just went down our roster to figure out where people came from the other day, and I think say about a third of them were from cross sales, the other third were from referral, and then the other third came to us organically.
Yeah.
You know, they passed by the building and they live in the neighborhood. Hey, we want to be a part of it.
Right.
So those are kind of the three buckets that we have so far. We just started getting more aggressive on the social media, like the LinkedIns and things like that, trying to break people in.
Yep.
But again, we don't want to have 100 people. So
No.
So again, it's just quality. If we see a quality person out there operating in the neighborhoods that we work, we go after them a little bit and approach them, but we're not getting crazy with it.
Yeah. No. So let's go. So the marketing side, you said the social media stuff. You've done an amazing job with the
Thank you.
videos. Who's the guy who's doing it for you? Because he needs a shout out.
Yeah.
You can't say that?
Coach Taylor at Coach Taylor
At
Instagram.
Coach- Okay. So like I mean, he's basically like doing like
And
a
you grew
day
up
in the
with him,
life.
didn't you?
Yeah, he went to Arcadia. He was a year ahead of me in Arcadia.
Okay.
Yep.
See, Arcadia people.
We love to give back too. So think about it. We're all about local. Like our brand is relentlessly local. I mean, even the architects on the building with Studio Moss.
They live right behind the building.
Yeah.
So everything is about local. So Tucker and I love to give back to the community.
Yeah.
If we have vendor partners, whatever.
You
we
live at only the restaurants in that area.
we do. We don't go too far outside.
Gosh, you go. It's the same thing with like the freaking kissing thing. If you go to Tarbell's, it's like oh hey, you know, it's like everybody. And then the wine shop next door, and then it's just like, you know.
Back to the video thing, though.
Yeah, back to the video thing. Sorry.
At Coach
We
Taylor.
digress.
So anyway, so you're doing it's like day in the life of Tucker, right? And which I think super cool. And if you haven't checked out the veteran video that he did, it is the best video that I saw on Veterans Day by far, by anybody in any industry. Super cool. So check out Oleg's
Tucker's.
Tucker's Instagram, or the Brokery's Instagram.
Yep. And I
Or
think
mine, because I shared it.
coming up, our business was always very print focused, and so
Yeah.
during the pandemic, obviously, we kind of I switched gears a little bit at least, and I wanted to get more in the video, and that's something. Again, I'm an introvert. I don't like to be out there in front of people or make it like a celebrity thing, but I just felt it was a different medium, different way to get in front of eyeballs. And Taylor's done a great job because he chops me up to make me look like a pro. And you've seen the outtake video, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a pro. So
No, but he makes you look like one, and I know you're not super comfortable in front of camera of any type, and you come across as if you are incredibly comfortable, right? And it's
getting better for sure.
It's getting. Yeah, he does a really, really good job, and I think that's great for your marketing. It's gonna attract people for sure. It's gonna help as you go, but it takes what. I mean, it's not something that happens overnight, right? Yep. We've only been doing this for a little while too, and we don't expect like the world to change here in the next 2 weeks, but and then Oleg gave it a shot as well.
Shot.
He gave it a shot.
His avenues are. I mean, the agent testimonials. If you guys will see those here in the next couple of weeks, I mean, they're phenomenal. I think Mariana Martin will be the first one.
Yeah.
And they're extremely well done.
Debbie did a great job as well.
So what is the testimonial just about the Brokery? It's just like what
about
are
the
they?
coaching? You know, again, like I said, it's my heart. Like I love coaching.
Yeah.
My wife calls me a life coach. I coach her all the time.
He tries to coach me.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
When Ryan needs an issue, he always calls the coach, right? So
that's true. I do, but yeah.
So, and my son,
personal stuff though.
like my son, I'm coaching now his soccer team. So I love coaching, and so the testimonials are about how the coaching has helped our agents transform their business. So it's not me doing it; it's the agent. So I'm really excited about those.
Those are gonna be good
because they're a lot better on camera than I am. So I'm happy that they're on it and not me.
Do you like those property tour videos better, or do you like the day in the life?
Well, you're doing both, kind of. Like I like the day in the life. Really, I like those the best because it's you, and we're trying to get. I just am shocked that you're even doing it, to be honest with you, because it's so not you, and they turn out so good. But the property videos are great too, especially the one you did with your own property, the flip.
Oh yeah.
That one. I mean, just kind of going through and talking about, it makes you look. Because you are smart, but you're showing everybody, like, I know exactly what I'm doing here. We took this out, we put this in here, we did this because of this, and this is where we shouldn't have done this, and not everything's perfect, right? When you go through this stuff, but just kind of, I think, addressing like how much you know about the home.
Sure.
I think that's impactful. But you have to do you have to do.
What inspired you to do the real talk? What was the?
So I tried to do it like a year ago, and we did like 3, but it was just I didn't really know what I really wanted to do with it. Like I was just like, there's so many just talking about real estates and just realtors, title, and mortgage guys, right? So then when Trisha came over here, we were kind of just trying to figure things out, and she brought it up to me. She's like, "Hey, what's your thought process on relaunching this thing?" Because 2 things. It costs a lot of money to do the other one. We were doing it at another studio, which they're amazing at what they do, and we understand now why they cost as much money as they did. But we figured out we can bring it in-house because we got Trey, and he's a film student from Toronto Film School. Nice. So he's making freaking movies and music videos and stuff. So I figured he can do a podcast. And then he's teaching Trisha to do, and then she had a background in all the social media to do all the things that I didn't know how to do. It's like starting a company, and you don't, like you guys know, it's like there's just so much stuff that goes into it, and I have a real job. So it's like I just shut down basically, right? So I had all the support that I just didn't know what to do. And so when I relaunched, we talked, and we're like, we wanted to be more about lifestyle, more about the community development. Like we had nonprofit guy on here who's got restaurants. It's not just realtors and loan officers or title reps. That just doesn't appeal to me, right? It's just they have to have a story behind. And you guys are obviously my friends. We have a great story, but there's a story beyond that story. Is you're
a Jewish
immigrant, legal, and then your story with because I know your deep story of just who you were and who you are now, and I think people need to know that. Plus, you're 2 of my best friends, which doesn't hurt either. But working together, and we've been partners for a long time, and seeing the growth from both of us. I mean, to be honest with you, it's like I didn't know, I hadn't even done the deal when you and I started working together. So, but we've watched each other kind of go through this growth, and it's been almost 10 years now, and so. Coming back and just doing this, it was something different. I needed a spark too, and we figured this would be a really good angle for people to see who we are also, because I don't cold call for recruiting either, but we do want good people here, and if people see this side of us as well, it makes people go, hey, just like it's gonna do today for you guys. It's like these guys are cool guys. They've got a good business. Maybe I'll give them a call. Or I'll reach out, and that's already happened. We've only launched 1, and we launched Stewart's the only one, and we've already got somebody that we really really like coming, like potentially coming, but reaching out and having multiple conversations with, but in a very organic way too. I just like I'm not a if you
I've never been that kind of guy to chase people around, and I think that was where Oleg and I also kind of crossed. Is like he's very aggressive outwardly aggressive. Like, hey, Give me your business, right?
Yeah.
I don't care talking to somebody for a year, and then I'll slow play, right?
This is me raising my hand.
But it's good to have the yin yang, because if I did that all the time,
Yeah.
I mean, I might not get that now business that he gets,
But
right?
you will eventually.
Hopefully.
I remember, speaking of another agent, yeah, sometimes, but it may take 4 years.
What?
I remember Brian telling me one time, Brian North is, obviously working here.
He's a
great guy,
Yes.
and a good friend of mine as well. And we were on a lift one day, it's on a snowboard trip. And somebody asked him if him and I worked together, and he's just like, no. They're like, you don't? He's like, no. He's never once ever. He goes, but we're probably going to.
One of my good friends says we do a lot of life together.
Yeah,
Right, that's what it comes down to.
We do a lot of life, and you just eventually you're going to start working together, and you're going to start doing stuff. But Brian works with Ken Nielsen that works here as well, which we brought over because of Brian.
Yeah.
So, anyways, to get back to
indirectly, he's working with VIP.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the same way as you, and I don't know if that's the right way or not, but that's my personality, and that's just I'd rather just get it through a relationship building, and I just don't have I'm not good at that.
What's been the perception of our business over time from an outsider perspective from you?
I think the suits thing definitely lend you guys to great for the Biltmore, little rigid for other parts of maybe the valley, and that you guys can be standoffish because people don't know you, and then I have this. That's when I have to. We talked about this before. I have these conversations with people that I'm like, dude, you're so freaking wrong. You have no idea. These are like two of the greatest dudes I know.
Yep.
And yeah, they might be rigid maybe during a deal because they're working for their client, but they may not want to go get happy hour, but I guarantee you they'll go get coffee, and they're the type of guys that you might want your kid to marry.
Thank you.
I mean, that's what I mean, and that's the character wise. I mean, and then I know, and that's not just because we work together. I know everybody that knows you now, Stuart will say the same thing. We work with a lot of people, good guys. But still, I think, we want to get real here, real talk. I mean, you guys are going to have to overcome this. So still, and that's why maybe you're not having as easy a time having people just jump over to you, because there's a lot of great agents in your area that should be there and that could benefit from being there. And it's just a growth thing. And I don't know, man. I'm baffled at it too, because at this point, I think that there should be right now, I think that there should be, if anybody's looking at any other, I hate to even say the names because I'm not gonna, you guys should be one of the first people they should be calling, right?
Appreciate it.
And I think it will be, and it's just gonna be slow play, just like you said, because that's not your personality, dude. And your inner personality is not gonna go get agents.
No.
Because that's not the card selling that. It's not how agents want to make a move. Yep. It's becoming slowly the respect gets there, and then the people want to be your friend and they want to work with you.
I want to talk about a couple things. First is, we're not for everybody in the fact that, I don't know how to explain it, but we're not for part-timers.
Yeah.
So you're coming to our company to make money. You're not going to come to our company to do happy hour.
Totally.
Right. So if you want to go party and hang out with the crew and look cool and not make a lot of money, that's not our thing, right?
Yeah.
So we're pretty select in, again, who we bring on.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I kind of want to get into the value that our company does provide, because I think a lot of people don't understand what we're actually offering, right? I think that's something that's more intimate that we talk to people about once they get to the table. But essentially, it's an entire back-end program from transaction coordinating to graphic design, like we talked about, soup to nuts, start to finish. These people take care of the entire back end of your transaction, and they promote you on social media in a brand-conscious way. And
very clean,
super
nice.
Clean, modern brand.
Yep.
You have all access to all of our office locations for free. Mm-hmm. You can even buy into the buildings with us. There's a ton of things that people don't know about that we're not outwardly projecting. But
and again, basically they just have to send over the contract, right? Or they don't even have to write the contract.
Yeah, they write the contract. Yeah, we're getting there, right?
Yeah.
But
you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
literally they did the contract and then it's just boom.
See you later.
Essentially, they still want to have that communication with their clients. But our transaction team, we have 2 full-time transaction coordinators that are paid for through the splits. So again, there's no nickel and diming here or there. It's just a very unique model that we recreated the wheel, and this is what has worked for Oleg and I, and we're going to continue to execute the plan. I think it's going to be fruitful in the end.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we're expanding actually slowly, but surely. I mean, we just brought on 3 agents from the East Valley, which we're super excited about. And literally, we just opened up our North Central office 2 months ago, and we had a couple agents literally call because they saw our Brokery's office right on, and now they saw it there and they saw it here, and we're having conversations. So again, it's a slow growth, which is great. We're looking for great agents in the West Valley, Paradise Valley, and North Scottsdale. And as we find those right agents, as Tucker mentioned earlier, we'll find the building, and we can close on it in 30 days.
Right.
We are the only company buying actual real estate.
Right.
Like all these other companies are tucked away in corporate centers. They're hidden away. Nobody is walking into those offices.
Yeah.
We present a much easier access point for a lot of clients and neighbors in the neighborhood to get real estate info.
So you see you're hyper local, like relentlessly local,
Yes.
right? So, but you want to expand these other places. So, which I'm going to say for you. So, if you have somebody in the West Valley who wants to be part of the Brokery, it doesn't mean they're going to be going to 40th Street. You're going to be like, if we have enough people, we're going to buy a building there, and you're going to be in this.
You're going to be the local expert
that,
of that neighborhood.
In that,
exactly
so
right.
you're gonna, exactly. So, which I think is, I mean, like you said, that's not normal unless you're like a huge brand,
Correct.
right? And I don't even know if they just have an office and you just go to that. They're not.
Right.
It's not like you have like a cool little spot. And plus, you want to, like, our office is amazing.
Love
so
it.
people want to come here, right?
Totally.
And you guys do a good job of the design and making it cool. Like the North Central office is super cool, small, intimate. You know, it's done really well. You know, and like an amazing. I mean, your walking distance and everything is cool over in North Central and in Midtown, Uptown, and so those people are going to be doing both areas, which is big, right? So,
and what I see time and time again is these people get into these companies. We don't need to mention names, but they get into these companies with 200 agents, 300 agents, 400 agents, and they just become a number. I feel like we've done a good job while we're growing to keep it small. You know, Oleg and I's door is always open. They have access to the insane talent that we have on deck right now. 20 million plus producers, multiple of them that they can contact anytime. And then the 5 full-time staff. I mean, literally, you can call somebody at any hour of the day and talk to a human being. And a high-performing real estate human being. You know what I mean?
Right. No, it's true. Like, I know because I remember even having a conversation with Mariana one day, and like she was like, it was like Sunday night or something, and you picked up. She just called you, right?
Yep.
So, you know, I don't know if that's where they're, you know, normal as well. Obviously you have to have a work-life balance and stuff, but if it's, you know, people need something from you, you're going to be there for them.
And even like soccer, like when I had questions, what do I call Ryan? Ryan grew up playing soccer. His kids both play at an extremely high level. He knows all the coaches, and I'm like, Ryan, I'm frustrated with this coach. What are my options? Like, right? So it's just it's that network that we have, of friends that we keep super, super close. That give you opportunities that you never thought you had an opportunity in. So,
and Oleg is just he just joined our networking group, the Junto, which is super high level in all different industries. Which is really good too. I think this is kind of your first
yes.
You know, you're venturing out a little bit, doing some of this stuff.
And he's on social media now.
And he started. Stuart isn't.
I finally did. I got a couple of my.
You're one step ahead of Stu. Still won't do it. But he knows that I am.
Yes.
And so since I have her doing all my stuff, I keep hitting this, but it helps a lot. But anything else you guys want to talk about as far as the business is concerned before we get into some a couple more questions?
We just love what we do, honestly, and Oleg and I have fun doing it. Last month was our best month of all time. Closed 45 transactions, right?
Yeah.
Month of October.
Over 25 million bucks.
So again,
small little boutique group of agents working their tail off.
And you guys are both like financially smart with your money, so it's fun to see too, because like I know, Tucker, you got your own little side flips and stuff that always seem to work out pretty fairly well. So it's cool that you're in the business in multiple aspects. I mean, you have.
My wife doesn't work.
Exactly, but she raises kids.
She does.
You have multiple properties
Rentals.
that you always are investing in. Like today, you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy another house today. Where's Stuart at? You know, it's like, which happens quite a bit.
And that's the one thing. What's great about our business, Tucker also has several properties. We don't ask our clients to buy something that we wouldn't buy. So even our agents say, hey, Oleg, what do you think about this investment property for myself? Like, I'll analyze it, like we literally will talk our buyers out. Like, I'm not sure about those numbers. So we're very cautious. We're conservative in that front, but we like to take a risk that's an educated, and we do the analysis. So I always say, hey, Ryan, you ready to buy?
Yeah.
Because I'm a buyer. Like, even in today's market, when people ask me with rates at 2% or 2.5%, whatever there, it's free money.
Yeah.
I'm a buyer.
Yeah.
I sold one, and I'll buy two. It makes sense.
Yeah. All right, so before we wrap up, I have a rapid fire section, but I have one question I want to ask you guys. I think it's a cool question. Whatever your definition of a bucket list is, I don't know what it is, but for me, it's not what you do before you die. It's kind of what do you want to, like something you're looking forward to doing in the near future to me. So what's yours?
Yeah, I was saying, so the one thing that we've always wanted to do, and we were going to start it this summer, which kind of got derailed a little bit, is actually every summer go for a whole month to a different country. So this year we were planning on going to Spain. Got pushed back, so we're hoping to start maybe next year we go to Spain. Back in high school, I had an exchange student who's still one of my dearest friends, Al. He lives in Finland. He married a girl from Finland. We went to his weddings. They came to ours, but he's from Spain. So hopefully next summer we go to Spain and then maybe Italy or other countries year after year.
That's awesome. That's great for your kids. That's great for your kids. I wish I would have done that for my kids. My son went to Spain or Europe for the first time, anywhere besides Mexico for the first time last year. My daughter still has
Did he go for soccer? Or?
No, but we went for his school. It was through his school, but I knew the Spanish teacher was, our sons played soccer together. So, and we played soccer together. So we went, so I had him, my buddy, and then like our kids. So it was cool. It was a really good experience, but it was only for a week, and he started to hate it.
I won't go back to Mexico. So my bucket list item, I think, is I'm trying to do a swim from the La Jolla Shores to the La Jolla Cove. So for you guys that have been there, it's about a mile swim, I think, open ocean across the open there from like where the La Jolla Beach Tennis Club is across to the La Jolla Cove. And that's just because I'm scared of open water swimming. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
I suck at swimming. All those things incorporated, I just want to, it's a challenge that I'd like to tackle.
Yeah. Is that something that, people do all the time?
Oh, everybody, they're out there doing it every day,
Oh, they are?
making
Okay.
it look really easy, but I know it's not that easy.
Oh, gosh. No. And it's a mile in open body water.
Yeah.
And the water's cold.
Yeah.
So the ocean's cold.
Yeah. So you look like somebody should be, like, when are you start doing triathlons?
That's a good question.
Right?
I'd like to know too.
I feel like that's in your head.
Nah, I'm just not there. I'm not there. No.
Okay. Because he's so like fit and like that's and healthy.
And eats every 2 hours. Literally.
And eats good food.
Yeah.
So he's gonna live a long time. We're not. All right. Oops, that's not it. I'm gonna go to where they are. Okay. All right. So just real fast here. What is your favorite word? I'm gonna start with you, Tucker. Local. That was fast.
Favorite word?
Yeah.
Loyalty.
Loyalty. Good. Another good one. All right. So the question reads, "What turns you on?" But we already talked about this.
Jenny.
Okay. What lights your outside of your relationship? Like what gets you going?
Success.
Okay. Good one.
Same. And seeing people, like what we talked about earlier, seeing other people do well. Our agents around us do well.
Awesome. Great answer. What's your favorite movie?
Wizard of Oz.
Okay. Well, good.
Whoa.
Very artsy.
Yeah. Like a Saving Private Ryan guy.
Oh, dude. That's definitely my top 5. That's an underrated movie for people that are younger because they don't understand. That was like the best movie for a long time. But I think it's almost 20 years ago at this point, right?
Yeah.
But it's an amazing movie. What was the last gift you gave someone?
Gift.
Probably wine.
Yeah. Probably a lot of wine.
I'll let you think about it for a second. What about you?
A gift basket.
A gift basket. For what?
For chocolates.
After closing or what?
Post-close.
Okay.
Yeah, the most recent would be the same.
Okay. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Mortgage. And the reason is because I think it's so much more blue ocean than we are. Like, we're so defined in where we can work, whereas you guys can go out and win deals all over the country.
That's a John Bohm word, or blue ocean. Loves talking about blue ocean. But you're right.
I would love to be a surgeon.
Yeah. Well, you wanted to be one, didn't you?
Yeah. An orthopedic surgeon. I've had so many knee surgeries. I would like to help other people that have this issues that I have.
Yeah. It always comes back to helping other people. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys coming. Again, Tucker, Blalock, Oleg, Bortman with the Brokery, my good friends. Thanks to Trisha and Trey on the production here at Real Talk with Ryan Madrid. And again, thank you, VIP Mortgage, for hosting us at this office, sponsoring this, and Tsunami and Escrow, 2 great products that we will do a commercial for. But thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So if you're like me, you haven't been doing a great job with your social media, video, and marketing. I think we all know we should be doing this, but it's not as easy as it looks, and sometimes it's a little intimidating. So I found an app called Tsunami with an X. You can find it on any of the app stores. And what they do is you actually film the video on your phone, and then you send it on over to them. And these are professionals that will edit it, and they'll put a footer and a header, and they'll even give you scripts if you need them. So if it's an opportunity for you to make videos and have it look great, because like I said, these are professional people doing these for you, and they'll even teach you how to upload it to social media, and it'll make you look good, and it'll get you past your hesitation of doing it on your own. So check it out, Tsunami with an X.